People of the internet, welcome back to another video. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes have all been greatly appreciated. The support that you guys have shown thus far on this channel has been greatly appreciated. And I do genuinely appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me, so I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, folks. Of course, you see it in the title, you see it in the thumbnail. We're speaking about the advancements of the metaverse, right? Now, of course, if you are new to this channel or maybe a returning visitor on this channel, you know these are some of the topics that I like to discuss on this channel. All things that are culturally relevant. I like to weigh the morality and the ethics on a lot of things that are happening in the world. Not to say that I'm, the one that's going to be the most knowledgeable in some of these things, but I like posing questions. I like asking for diverse perspectives down in the comment section in terms of the happenings of the world and the direction we see the world going into. So this topic basically falls right under a lot of the things I maybe discussed before. I know we spoke on, Elon Musk and the brain chip and his ideas for that moving forward. I think there's actually some advancements on that as well, too. I'll probably do another video on that. I know we've spoken on things like the Apple's new headset that they announced maybe a few months ago, whatever the case was. And again, some pros and cons of that, of course. And of course, in a nutshell, I typically just lie in the middle in all of these things, right? Some of it, of course, I would agree, sounds exciting, sounds cool, looks cool. Of course, I'm a huge fan of technology advancements. I'm all for that, right? But I do think in certain situations, some things do pose a potential threat that I think we should all be mindful of and not necessarily run and go full steam ahead on some of these advancements, knowing that there's two sides to every coin. So we'll go ahead and dive into today's topic, man. Of course, as I mentioned, we're talking about the metaverse. There's been some latest advancements on that as well, too. More recently, of course, and of course, if you aren't familiar with the metaverse, I should probably speak on that as well, too. So if you aren't familiar of exactly what the metaverse is an invention, I guess, from Meta, of course, formerly known as Facebook, by Mark Zuckerberg and his team, right? Look at the metaverse basically as like a universe, essentially a digital universe where all your digital experience, so think about everything that you do online, right? Currently through your phone. Now imagine yourself as a avatar or what I could say, a digital version of you that is interacting within these realms. So of course, these things have been advertised as a place for us to collaborate, especially in the workplace environment. These things have been advertised as a place for us to connect, party, hang out, things of that nature. Which I would admit does seem kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. When news of this first broke, let me see if I can pull up a tab here of what it originally looked like, because that's gonna be, context is everything. When Mark Zuckerberg originally mentioned starting the metaverse, right? He basically first shared images that he caught some flack on. And I can actually share some of what that stuff looked like. And that's going to be important for what I'm going to share in this next clip as well, too, because, he's made some advancements. Things look a lot different than what he originally portrayed it to be, which is, essentially pretty cool. So we'll get into that. First, let me just show you guys real quick for context what I'm referring to. Let me see you present. Boom. Of course, I'm doing this in real time with you guys now, so bear with me. All right. So these are some of the images of what Mark Zuckerberg, when he originally announced the metaverse and what people would look like and some of those experiences would look like. This in particular is one he got the most flack for. Like, wait, huh? This is what your grand idea was. People gave him some flack. Like, wait, what? This is the future? Of course, maybe there's some upgrades on this. I don't know if these were, necessarily, of course, he has mentioned, of course, too bad Metaverse graphics got backlash. Mark Zuckerberg's response to bad Metaverse graphics backlash. So he did receive some backlash for this grand idea. Originally at one point in time, I think these are all, first iterations of what it was proposed to be. I think there was some conversation around them originally not having legs, things of that nature. He shared some things that, of course, have looked pretty good, but nothing quite like what I'm going to share with you guys now. I think here's another image, of course, Mark Zuckerberg to the left and the digital metaverse version of him on the right. I'll go ahead and share with you guys real quick the latest advancements. He had an interview last week, I believe it was, with another podcaster, I guess a social commentator podcaster that I'm actually a huge fan of by the name of Lex Fridman. Lex Fridman, if you're not aware, is a AI scientist He's into like robotics and technology as well too. I believe he's either currently a professor at MIT or was previously a professor at MIT, one of the two. And he had to sit down with them. He usually interviews people, diverse perspectives, same thing, same concept. He recently had a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg in the metaverse, right? And of course, this was a displaying of what the advancements now look like, right? So keep in mind of the images that I showed you before. Now we're gonna take a quick. First, I'm gonna show you the clip of the introduction of what the metaverse version of Lex Friedman looks like now, in the metaverse. And then we'll go ahead and get into some clips of to what the actual conversation, how that kind of went between Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg regarding the metaverse.
The following is a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg inside the metaverse. Mark and I are hundreds of miles apart from each other in physical space, but it feels like we're in the same room because we appear to each other as photorealistic codec avatars in 3D with spatial audio. This technology is incredible, and I think it's the future of how human beings connect to each other in a deeply meaningful way on the internet. These avatars can capture many of the nuances of facial expressions that we humans use to communicate emotion to each other. Now, I just need to work on upgrading my emotion expressing capabilities of the underlying human. This is the Lex Friedman podcast. And now, dear friends, here's Mark Zuckerberg.
Right. So you see there, folks, man, that is what essentially people would look like in the metaverse. Now, in comparison to what I shared with you before, it's a lot different. You can see the advancements that I'm referring to. It looked like it was a video game. I've seen I don't even know if video games are even looking that unique. So imagine a version of yourself, of that quality in this digital universe, digital experience, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty impressive. I cannot deny. Let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of the actual conversation between the two of them, which I thought was very interesting as well too. And of course, this was just a snippet. I mean, it was a full blown conversation. I think they had actually broken down into several parts, the actual conversation itself. But I thought this was very interesting. And again, as you're watching this, um, taking mind of the possibilities, man. See where your mind takes you in terms of what this could actually mean for you and I, right? When this is something that, of course, all of this is still in development. It's nothing that's readily available now, but it will be in the near future, right? So imagine imagine the possibilities, right, of digital experiences with a digital version of you, as realistic as that looked, right? And think about some of the ways that this could help our society and some of the ways that it could only make it worse. Let's dive in.
This is so great. Lighting change? Wow.
Yeah, we can put the light anywhere.
And it doesn't feel awkward to be really close to you.
No, it does. I moved you back a few feet before you got into the
Well,
headset. You were like right here.
Right,
I don't
guys.
know
So
if people
you
can
see it there. These
see
guys,
this,
these
but this
gentlemen are
is
wearing
incredible.
headsets.
The realism here is
Lex
just
Friedman on the
incredible.
left here is in Austin,
Where am I?
Texas.
Where are you, Mark?
Mark
Where
Zuckerberg is
are
in
we?
You're in
California.
Austin, right?
No, I mean this place.
Oh.
We're shrouded by darkness with ultra realistic face, and it just feels like we're in the same room. This is really the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And sorry to be in your personal space.
I mean,
We have done jujitsu before.
yeah, no, I was commenting to the team before that even I feel like we've choked each other from further distances than it feels like we are right now.
I mean, this is just really incredible. I don't know how to describe it with words. It really feels like we're in the same room. And
Yeah.
it feels like the future. This is
Yeah.
truly, truly incredible. I just wanted to take it in. I'm still getting used to it. It's like it's you. It's really you. But you're not here with me, right? You're there wearing a headset, and I'm wearing a headset. It's really, really incredible. So what can you describe what it takes currently for us to appear so photorealistic to each other?
Yeah. So I mean, for background, we both did these scans for this research project that we have at Meta called Codec Avatars, and the idea is that instead of our avatars being cartoony, and instead of actually transmitting a video, what it does is we've sort of scanned ourselves and a lot of different expressions, and we've built a computer model of sort of each of our faces and bodies and the different expressions that we make, and collapse that into a codec that then, when you have the headset on your head, it sees your face, it sees your expression, and it can basically send an encoded version of what you're supposed to look like over the wire. So in addition to being photorealistic, it's also actually much more bandwidth efficient than transmitting a full video, or especially a 3D immersive video of a whole scene like this.
And it captures everything, like the flaws. Like, to me, the subtleties of the human face, like even the flaws, that's all amazing. It makes it so much more immersive. It makes you realize that like perfection isn't the thing that leads to immersion. It's like the little subtle flaws, like freckles and like variations in color, and just
Yeah, wrinkles,
all stuff about
asymmetry.
noses. Yeah, asymmetry, and just
Yeah.
the different, like the corners of the eyes, like what your eyes do when you smile, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, eyes are a huge part of it.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there for now. It was a very long conversation. I'm not gonna lie, it was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting. Of course, they're gonna get super technical as they continue on in this interview. But yeah, man, that's essentially what we would look like in the metaverse. No, you weren't looking at a video game. No, this wasn't, whatever the case is. This is what you would look just as real. And if you've seen Lex, I mean, it's literally a spitting image. It's exactly what he looks like in real life. If you're not familiar with any of these people. So I see these things and I'm like, damn, okay. So we are definitely, advancing on full steam ahead in terms of AI. AI is here. Artificial intelligence, the metaverse, AR. And I kind of want to speak on that as well, too, in this video, in terms of another announcement that Mark Zuckerberg made last week in terms of the those AR glasses. So Meta, the company, Mark Zuckerberg's company Meta, has joined forces with Rayban. Let me see if I can pull that up. So I'm talking to you guys now. And they too have I guess this is another feature that is, I don't know if it might be available now. If it's not available now, I know it's going to be available soon. In terms of things that'll be readily available for us to access, right? And AR, of course, is augmented reality. So it's, of course, merging the worlds of your current reality and just layering an aspect of a digital experience on top of that. I'll show you guys. Let me see. Meta AR glasses. Bear with me, folks. But yeah, man, so all of this is pretty, I'm like, all right, cool. I see you. I see you, bro. Let's see if I can tap into this real quick. Let's see. Let's hop into CNET. CNET is pretty cool. So they made an announcement yesterday. I'm sorry, this was about 5 days ago. Let's see if I can share my screen here with you guys.
And
okay,
it allows you,
this is
the last thing
let's talk about the glasses
that I want to
real quick.
show you
That's what I
today,
really wanted to focus on,
which is the next generation of Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. Now, these are designed so you can stay in the moment and stay connected without having to take your phone out. You can capture what's going on around you. You can share with your friends in the world. Everything about this is upgraded from the first version. The cameras are a lot better, so the images and videos that you capture are a lot clearer. The audio is a lot better, so when you're listening to music or podcasts or taking calls, that's a lot better. They're lighter, they're more comfortable, and there are a lot more styles too. But the most interesting thing about this isn't any of those specs. It's that these are the first smart glasses that are built and shipping with Meta AI in them.
all right, let's fast forward a little bit.
So starting or you're playing pickleball and hits the line and you want to know if that's a fault. She disagrees, but you know the truth. Or let's say you just want to settle a debate, some trivia as you're going out through the world. Just ask your Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and they'll respond and get you the answer.
I'm gonna stop right there real quick. So basically, look into again, as I always mention on this channel, guys, if there's anything that I'm ever speaking on that maybe you are aware of, or maybe you have more insight on, or maybe you've never heard of and you want to gain more interest, I always encourage you to do some research yourself. Maybe this is just the catalyst. If all of this is new to you and it does, seem pretty intriguing to you, go ahead and check it out. I always encourage you to do that. I don't want to dive too much into it here. Of course, I'm going to keep these videos at a minimum, essentially. But yeah, man. So the advancements and all of this was announced all within last week, if I'm not mistaken. All of this was, the advancements the conversation that I shared earlier between Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg, that took place last week. And of course, that was a representation of the newer version of what we could look like in the metaverse. And Mark Zuckerberg is, of course, also revealing a bunch, along with another, a series of different, of course, you saw in the clip before I switched it over, he was talking about his headset, his version of the headset as well, too. Of course, Apple announced theirs some months ago as well, too. So this is the direction our technology is moving forward in, right? And the question I'm only posing, like I said, I'll say this again, like all of this seems cool to me, right? On the surface level, it's cool, of course, right? This seems pretty cool. There's nothing like it. It's been, not to say that, there's previous iterations of this before, which has been cool, but the latest versions of all of this type of technology is pretty intriguing. The only point I'm trying to bring up is this, right? One of the things that I don't think was touched on this clip in particular, but of course is one of the features of, these Ray-Ban glasses, is the ability to live stream. First of all, I think they did say there would be some indication whether you'll be recorded. So imagine wearing glasses, right? I think they have, you see this stuff in movies, right? James Bond and stuff like that. So spy glasses, right? Where somebody can be wearing glasses and can be recording you, recording a private, confidential, conversation between you. You would have no idea. I always want to just entertain both sides of the coin, right? Yeah, this is all cool. And like he was explaining, you could be grilling and the glasses can tell you how much more to go. You could be playing tennis and, you can see if that was out or not. Yeah, those are all the cool things. But if you think about the current state of society currently at this moment, there's a lot of things that people would use that were intended for good that people use as evil, right? We're aware of that. So I'm just like, are we ready? The question I'm pretty much posing in this video, and to you, all of you guys as well too, how do you guys feel about such advancements on technology in a society that doesn't seem quite ready for it, in my personal opinion, right? I think personally, I see a world where these things could go left. I'm not saying we shouldn't have it at all, but I'm saying, are we just as enthusiastic and headstrong on the regulations and the ethical aspects of these advancements, or are we just all full steam ahead? Let's just go ahead and meet each other in the metaverse and this and the other. I'm looking at it from both sides of the coin. Blame it on the movies that I watch. Blame it on the things that I see in real life happening every day. I don't know what you want to pin it to, but I know I'm not the only one that is a little bit skeptical on the potential pros and cons of such technological advances. That's the point I'm trying to make. What are your thoughts, folks? I'd love to hear them, man. Mark Zuckerberg, all these tech companies, I appreciate them. I think they are, because I'm always going to be a fan of innovation, right? I'm always going to be a strong fan of, advancing and, making us better than what we were yesterday, right? Sometimes I just question the intent and if there's any morality based and backed upon these corporations, these tech corporations, your pharmaceutical corporations, your government, things of that nature. Are they backed with genuine concern and wanting to do good for us, the normal, regular civilians? Or is it a further advancement of control and watching, surveillance and, capitalism, money, sell to the highest bidder? What do you guys think these things mean moving forward? It's all I'm asking. What are your thoughts, folks? Share them down in the comment section below. I would love to hear it, man. What do you think? What do you think? Share your ideas, man. Are you full steam ahead? Am I overreacting? Right? As I mentioned in previous videos before, sometimes I feel like I'm just the guy in the movie that's just like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't go down this dark alley this way. Let's go down this way. And they're like, no, you're over exaggerating, man. There's nothing wrong with this dark alley with the sketchy animals and sketchy people down this way. There's nothing. We'll be all right. Let's just keep going. I'm just the guy that's saying, hey man, I hear you, but what if we just kind of, you know, slow down for a second? That's all. That's the role I'm here to play, man, on all of this stuff. But like I said, I'm all for it. I think it's cool. It's going to be cool in the right hands. And we can't expect that all of these technological advances are always going to end up in the right hands with people with the greatest intentions. That's all I'm saying. What are your thoughts? I love to hear them. As always, it's greatly appreciated of you guys tuning in. The likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated, guys. I will catch you on the next one.